Let's light our way towards the new world. We shall illuminate the way with these luminous lights of ours, creating a flawless land the world has come to see. The intellectual spoke out. We are the lanterns. We provide light. We provide them with the energy they need, said the courageous. Back in the days, there were four lantern leaders who took control of the skies. These are ghost like. They don't have a certain form or body. They're made out of light that allows them to live longer. The leaders' titles were the determined, the considerate, the courageous, and the intellectual. Each creature had their own cultures, languages, and even tribes. The tribes had to follow their leaders and be as loyal as ever. One day, out of the ordinary, the intellectual creature was gone. Their tribes were worried sick, as if the strix had struck their hearts stronger than ever. The lantern leaders were terrified of the news, so in order to find the lost one, they must go to Earth and take three children who shall find the right path just for the sky's destiny to be changed. And that's how our story begins. Nia, come here and get dressed before school starts. You know how much I ain't liking it when you get late, Nia's mother demanded. Yes, Mama, I'ma be right there. As Nia got dressed, she stepped down the stairs, kissed her mom goodbye, and began her journey inside the class of sixth graders. As Nia went down the halls, looking very sheepish and shy, everyone stared at her in a very bizarre way, as if she is the odd one out of an entire school. That made Nia quickly hide herself in an empty hall, trying to hold herself from embarrassment. She felt that she was emotionally harassed the way everyone looked at her. Until a considerate girl came in to comfort her. You alright, mate? You seem lost and new, said the girl. Nah, I'm okay. Why would I not? Nia said with a face that looked like a tomato. Her eyes looked blurred out and red, as if she was crying. Hey, dude, now I don't think that you're familiar around here, but you'll get the hang of it in no time, exclaimed the girl. My name is Coral. What's yours? Oh, mine? Nia, that is. That's such a beautiful name. Never heard one like it. Shucks, why? Hey, that's the school bell. Well, take care. As the other kids gathered around the class, Nia sat silently as she knew no one in her class. You must as well stand up and introduce yourself. This is very important since we need to know who you are, and the way is easier to connect with other students in this room. We might as well start with... The teacher paused, yet it didn't take her long to choose. We can start with... Nia, do you mind introducing yourself? A faint anxious smile came over Nia's face. Of course, ma'am. Nia slowly walked towards the teacher's desk and was on pins and needles. Howdy, I'm Nia. Hopefully I can be friends with y'all, Nia stuttered. As she went back to her desk, people witnessed her and gave her eclo looks. That made Nia's confidence regained. Class, there are about 5 minutes. We're going to read chapter 5. Huh, recess already? Where did the morning turn to? Murmured the teacher. As the kids got out of class, Nia and Coral kept chattering, talking about their lives and their interests. Hey Nia, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Maggie, said Coral while eating a fry-up. Maggie seemed to be very annoyed. She didn't add much into the conversation. Unlike Nia and Coral, while talking, a bunch of kids were racing towards a very bedazzling light. Nia kept continuously blinking. The light creatures gazed at Nia, then Coral, and Maggie, then beckoned them. Maggie, in all confusion, said, What do you want from us? We aren't going anywhere with some light creatures from outer space. As Maggie said her words, she gulped and looked at Coral and Nia. Then the creature spoke out.
Just because you said such insolent words doesn't mean we'll leave this spot. We shan't leave this place whatsoever.
These words made Maggie stop, then gave them an obnoxious look, then said nothing. Nia added, Fellow light creatures, what do y'all want from us? The light creatures stopped and explained themselves.
We are the Luminas. We are in need of 3 children to guide us, and we think we found them.
The Luminous then pointed at Nia, then Coral, then Maggie. The Luminous added,
You 3 children are coming with us, with force or without.
The Luminous then opened the strange portal. The children gasped.
Oh, wait,
Said the determined one.
you children have a mission. Back in the days, we used to be 4: the courageous, the considerate, the determined, and the intellectual. We, Luminas, had a dark side called Malum. These diabolical creatures would always scare our tribes, and our tribes were always tremble with fear. It was said that the Malums have kidnapped one of us, the intellectual. They have a queen named Raven and her sidekick, Lilith. Your job is to get the intellectual one. Without them, we won't ever retrieve our power ever again. Now go!
As soon as the determined one commanded them to go, it was a new chapter, a new journey that only belongs to them. As soon as the children went through the portal, their heads kept on spinning around like wheels on the bus. Wait, where did we go? Coral babbled, as if she was tempted to cause a ruckus. Coral chill. From what I remember, there was this random Lumina thing that kicked us into a portal, and here we are, Nia jabbed. But just so you know, we can make it. You don't have to play the main role. I know how hard it is. I can play as the main role of the group if you'd like, Maggie said sarcastically, striking a model's pose. Nia laughed out loud while Coral said, with the most monotonous voice anyone could have imagined, No, Maggie, we don't need help from such a blockhead. They seem to have a big quarrel and forgot the reason why they're here in a different dimension. Y'all, snap out of it, Nia yelled. Let's go and get us out of this mess, Coral said, as they walked towards a strange palace. The palace looked simply divine. The kids gathered around just to look at the polished gold around the edges of the lost palace, the cultural drawings that symbolized power and elegance, the red bloody rich bricks that looked as rare as a diamond, the broken kid gates that exemplified a terrible disaster that occurred in this palace. It was filled with ashes and scratches. Now how about that? The place looks quite ancient. Now how about we take a ride here, huh? What'd you think? Maggie's eyes were filled with wonder and curiosity. Yes, let's go there, Maggie babbled as she went inside. Oh, Coral, you coming? Nia asked. No thanks. You go ahead while I catch you later, Coral said. Nia looked at her, disappointed, then gave her a shrug and took off. Oh, I really wanted to go, but I don't know if this is safe or not. Coral had a struggle whether to go inside or not. Sure thing, this place looks simply marvelous. This is so painful to pick. Coral seemingly gave up on picking. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Have you seen that? That's gorgeous! Oh, and that cute little statue over there! That's insanely spectacular! Oh my god! Maggie kept fangirling for as long as ever, while Nia looked at the hidden drawings and cultures. Hey, Maggie, do you think Coral is okay on her own? Murmured Nia. Oh, you should really stop worrying about Coral. She is 12. She'll be fine. What's the worst that can happen, you know? Said Maggie, while knowing absolutely nothing on what she's talking about. Phew, I shouldn't worry. Nothing's going to happen. I'm not scared. I just hate being alone, I guess. Coral sighed, then took a deep breather and opened her eyes. As she slowly opened them, her eyes were attracted to a flashing light. Coral blinked just to make sure her eyes were functioning well, and yet the flashing light didn't go anywhere. Huh, I wish I was dreaming. The light somewhat dragged Coral towards the place. As soon as Coral stepped her foot on the ceramic floor, the gates closed with a loud noise, loud enough to wake a bear up. Coral went towards the room that had an exit gate. Maggie sniggered at Coral. Hey, heard that noise over there? What did you break? An entire 20 statue collection? Maggie gave her a ghastly look. No, I'll never be this clumsy, Coral declared.
Silence!
Yelled the mysterious light as it was trying to hold a puzzle to be solved by the children.
You're not going anywhere,
said the light, while giving them an attentive smile. Ugh, another light creature? How many are you guys anyway? Shouted Maggie, while also being in a confused state.
There are about 5,927,071,836 light creatures. Yet until now. Simple and easy, but be careful. Once you fall inside the rabbit hole, there's no way you can escape. However, you can take as much time as needed. We don't mind,
the light creature added, as it underestimated these human creatures as weak-minded. After a few tries, Nia and Maggie gave up, but Coral wouldn't dare to give up. You guys, stay determined. We can do this, I say. Nia and Maggie gave her the "are you seriously trying to prove yourself wrong again" kind of look. Coral blinked and then looked back at the light creature. You thought I wouldn't notice, groaned Coral as she looked at the light creature. You just cheated. Just because people will be born as airheads doesn't mean you'd underestimate them, then go on with your high hopes. In any words, if you do think that, that makes you actually anticipated to do everything without any efforts. And guess what? That's where everything goes downhill. You can't just go and judge people based off who they are and what they're born with. It just makes you judgmental and opinion. So tell us, why did you do it? The light creature stopped for a moment, then giggled and looked at Coral.
Huh, you actually did change my mind. Great job there. Seems like you're up to the job,
the light creature added with a bright smile on its face. Wait, but how did you know it was all a cheating technique? Nia asked in all wonder and exclamation. Simple. In all honesty, the light creature took all risks in the first move, knowing that it could confuse you since we know that these creatures are mentally more advanced than us. Then it made us think that it would make us manipulate it into the risks and make us copy them and take all the risks since we're all humans, which risks everything just to prove ourselves right. Level the risks. Did you hear it well? The light creature said we, meaning that it plays with another player. Still and all, we wouldn't know that this player joined the game. They only did join to confuse us with two different types of thinkers. Whoever did the plan must be really intelligent and quick thinking to confuse us this easily. But just so you know, not everyone's the same. As Coral explained their technique, Nia and Maggie dropped their jaws. Their eyes were as wide as a whale. The light creature laughed, then gave Coral a thumbs up.
You know something, human? You really are better than any other typical human I've ever seen. You're quite determined, unlike every human I've ever seen. Props to you.
As the light creature finally got to be open-minded to see how different people really are, as the light creature finally got to respect Coral's determination, the gates of Determined One has opened wide, and it's time for the children to go.
See ya! Take care!
Exclaimed the light creature as the children walked in towards the next mission. They found themselves in a washed-out garden. Then they witnessed a kid at the age of 6 to 8 crying in front of a tombstone. Nia, just by looking at the poor kid's face, went up to him and knelt on one knee. The kid, with white sparkling red eyes swollen due to crying, he had puffy red cheeks and a red nose that was as red as a ruby. Nia went up to him and said these following words. Hey dude, I know there are many things in the world that might go against your way, but the point of living is to survive. Even though you're still young, you're in a fight against the negative thoughts that might come through your way and trick you with thoughts you neither want to have nor need. I wish I'd know what's going on around your life to help you, but for now, you can be independent and depend upon yourself. However, if there's anything wrong, you might need some aid every once in a while, like someone who can help you to feel better. Again, You're very strong to go through something like that. Keep on bringing out a pretty smile to everyone like the flowers when blooming. They deserve to see their soul shine through. As Nia finished her words of wisdom and compassion, the boy suddenly felt astonished and cheerful. Thank you so much. I really am happy right now, cheered the boy. There, have a lollipop. They always help me when I'm in a bad mood, said Nia, while giving the boy the lollipop. Again, thank you. Have a great day. And then the boy left his flowers and took off. After what happened, Coral was emotionally touched. Maggie wasn't affected much, but was pretty surprised by how considerate Nia is. Hey, great job, Nia. Hopefully the boy feels better now, exclaimed Maggie while clapping her hands. Oh, shucks, it ain't nothing much. While Nia looked around, she noticed the gates of the considerate one wide. Hey, y'all, I repeat it. This is it. I repeat it. Nia announced the news as Coral passed by towards the gate, then left as soon as possible. Well, it'll be my turn now, stuttered Maggie, as she was nervously sweating and her heartbeat was very high. Hey, don't be worried. I'm sure you'll be perfectly okay. You just have to act natural. Got it? Nia said. Yeah, sure. Maggie then took a breather, then entered the gate.
Hey, how about we go and get that lion creature out of here? Heard that thing scares children.
Lilith broke the news to Raven. Raven just looked at Lilith, yet couldn't pay much attention.
Hey, hello, you up there?
Lilith repeated irritatingly. Then Raven, right after that, held to Lilith's gaze.
Oh, well, there's a lion around the circus in the cage and, how about we take him out?
Murmured Lilith, waiting for a response.
You do you. Either way, it's your job to put the fun in funerals.
Oh my God, the lion got out! Save your lives! Help us! Save us! Mama, help me! The lion is after me! My child! Please! When Maggie opened her eyes, she was traumatized. What is going on? I must do something, Maggie yelled. Wait, you must be kidding me. There's no way you possibly barge in and sacrifice yourself, Nia yelled, loud enough for the lion to notice them. The children stood as still as statues. Nia, what did you get us into? Coral hissed. Nia, there's no choice. That kid is so much more worth than I am during the moment. It's a life or death decision, Maggie. Do you not understand? I do understand. Now stop acting cowardly and watch how I do it. While Maggie pushed Nia and Coral away from the lion, she glared at the lion, saying, Ha! You don't scare me. Show me what you've got at all costs. As Maggie seemed courageous enough to walk past the lion, she pushed her friends aside. It's a one-on-one. As Maggie gazed at the lion, she clapped her arms and ran around. Hey, catch me if you can. Maggie ran away from the lion as fast as she could, yet couldn't turn her back away from the lion, to not make her back a target for the lion to hit. Maggie kept yelling at the lion to distract him. She went towards the circus cage. The lion roared and was about to hit the kid as a target, when Maggie pushed the kid away and yelled, Coral, lend me 2 sticks. Coral was in utter confusion, yet she was decisive that Maggie would surely do something. Coral jumped through the nearby bench and pushed Maggie behind the bench and gave it to her. Towards the cage! Run through that place! Maggie jumped and kept yelling to grab the lion's attention, until she stood still in front of the cage and dodged the lion, causing him to tumble in his cage. Later on, the people thanked Maggie for her courageousness and being undauntable. As Maggie was being thanked and respected by everyone, she glanced at the gate of the courageous one, opening wide. The Luminas returned as they said,
Children, this is it. That's where your final chapter of your journey ends. Since the world of Filmaloom doesn't allow Luminas to enter, we shall wait here while you people can enter. Ha! Did you really think we won't know you guys aren't entering our realm without our permission?
When their children entered, this was the first thing they heard.
I'm Lilith, sidekick of Raven, also known as our Majesty.
When Lilith explained herself, she suddenly trapped the children inside a tremendous glass box.
Now that you kids are here, I'll have to be deliberate about what I'm going to say and carefully explain myself in detail. I'm Love Embler, fellow apprentice of the Queen. Now, I wouldn't consider myself evil. You'll have to blame it on none other than the Luminas Society. Kind and all, but once you get to know the roots, oh boy, that's where things get dark. I was a former schooler who only wanted to do good in the world. As I became more interested in studying magic, I began to neglect the Luminous Society and the world in general. I even rejected the idea of morality and character development for the good outright. Later on, I became more addicted and dedicated to become the very embodiment of the magic itself. I not only did I want the magic, but I wanted to be the magic. That way I could destroy everything they've created and become the only one who has the ability to control the world.
As Lilith thoroughly explained her so-called backstory, the children seemed to give her the look of terror, except for Maggie. They just made their fists conjoined and prepared for attack. They tried attacking Lilith from the back, but Lilith dodged Nia from the front, yet couldn't protect her back. Coral struck her behind, and Lilith then got halfway knocked out. Even though Lilith got knocked out, she managed to pull Coral away from her and to throw her off, causing Coral to hit on her head. She felt as if her entire body has been electrocuted. Then Coral passed out.
You kids really think that whatever you did was astounding? Heh, you've got another one coming.
As Lilith took her own balance and managed to escape from them by climbing up the glass box they were in.
Ha! Now who's the boss here?
As Lilith wickedly laughed, Maggie snickered, "I'm sorry, but we're changing our roles here." As Maggie pushed Lilith in the glass box again, this time she got damaged. Her forehead was bruised and her eyes couldn't function as well as before, not to mention her arms and legs were fractured.
This isn't damaging much. Now how about you filthy children quit fooling around?
When Lilith couldn't complete her sentence, she found herself profusely bleeding. Her waist was bloody dress.
No, this can't be.
Lilith stopped, then bewailed. As the blood gushed out like a flood from her waist, it was unbearable to look at. She said,
Ha! I really did underestimate a bunch of kids trying to find a way out of this chaotic world. I'm sorry for what happened. Hoping I shall be forgiven.
As Lilith shut her eyes, Nia said, "You're surely forgiven." "Hey, Coral, you okay?" Maggie yelled from the corner, from around the corner. "Wait, where am I?" "Don't worry, we're going home." As some light broke out,
I'm finally free, away from these vicious monsters.
Sorry to break it to you, but, who are ya?
Oh, why? I'm the fellow intellectual one, the strongest one of all, the mighty and the powerful one.
Oh, that weird Lumina thing we kept looking for. When everyone heard about Lilith's death, everyone was shocked, including Luminas and Malooms. The children wanted to go all the way back home, yet didn't know how or who'd bring them back to where they belonged. "We might as well go back to the gates from where they came back from." As the children started to go back, they saw the kid from the circus laughing at the lion's tricks, the boy that was happy when he had a picnic with his grandmother in front of the tombstone, and the light creature when it was determined enough to play a 5-hour game long. Until the children had to look at the human realm. They saw the oceans, the trees, their house, and their loved ones. Nia was the first one to go, then Coral, and now Maggie. "Hey, Mama!" Nia scolded. Oh, wait. It's midnight. You must be asleep." "Well, I'll try to take my nap too." Nia took her plushies right beside her arm. Her AC was open and her eyes were shut right. Then she came to remember all the times where she had this adventure and wonders and said, wondering what are the Luminas doing right now with the intellectual one, hoping they're now happily ever after. Then what happened? As the news broadcaster said, while the intellectual one was in the middle of the news.
Coral settled down and wouldn't think about much. Her stomach became upset because of how easily Lilith could carry her around. Come to think of it, It's been 5 years since Lilith wasn't around.
The intellectual one spoke out.
However, from what I know, Hope is in a better place. The place 5 years from now is absolutely marvelous. The long blossom trees that became much more common unlike before, and technology took a deep change ever since we arrived here on the planet's surface.
The Earth is in double protection since the Luminas have arrived on its surface for a reason. Can you tell us what would be the last thing to tell the children who are willing to save you? Asked the news broadcaster as he was telling them this for millions of people around the planet.
Technically, I wouldn't have said much because I'm not that great when it goes to appreciating people. Nevertheless, all I'm going to say is thank you for saving me. You kids are really brave who let their true colors shine through. Now that everyone here is safe, we can gladly thank you for sticking with us. And again, thank you.